Welcome back. Welcome back to Basic Banter for
Woo,
Witches.
woo. Welcome back.
Again, another weekend.
Yep.
Thankfully, you guys
Yep.
have made it this far somehow.
Exactly.
We have also made it this far somehow. And
Somehow. Exactly.
we're
We're back again with a new guest because this is the
yes,
season of guests coming in and
exactly.
on. I love it. So today we've got a new friend to our little coven here, Sinead Houlihan. And now, welcome, Sinead. First of all, thank you so much for being here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for having me on.
I'm very excited. You're really you're fresh blood to us because I was
Okay.
telling Brittany, like, I don't know much about you. I know very bare bones, right? I know that,
Yeah.
we have a mutual contact. So you've
Yeah.
done work with Anthony Kerrigan, who's been on the podcast last year, I guess as a
Yeah.
representative for Ghost Anna. And now you
Yeah.
were part of that. And so he kind of threw you at me and he's like, hey, I'm not gonna do it, but Sinead hit up Sinead. So it's like, okay, so
Okay.
hello. This is so
He threw,
great.
he threw me into the pot. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so
Love it.
I was
good.
listening. Yeah.
It's great
Yeah.
to meet new as much as we love to pull from. We've got plethora of friends that are interested in this, but it's so nice to meet
Okay, that's
somebody
fantastic.
that's like, again, it's truly a meeting of minds. So that's really exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I
feel free to interrupt me at any point here, Brittany, you as well, because I'm just like in my chatterbox
Oh,
mode.
yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
it.
Brittany just sits there and
Well,
she's just like, let her
unfortunately,
talk.
yeah, well, that's the thing. Just because that's her love language is talking.
I love it. Yeah.
It's
My love
my
I
language
think
is
people to
listening.
express themselves though these days, rather than like having walls up and stuff like that. I think it's good. That was a really good trait.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
Yeah.
not always good, but I will take that compliment. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Because
Take
it's
the positives
moments.
out of it.
Apologize
Yeah.
in advance because Harrison is definitely wanting to be the star of the show and
It's
ask his
fine.
own questions. And
It's
he
Yeah, he
fine.
probably does.
Okay. He just
He's
hears my
probably over
voice
there
and
on the couch.
exactly. He's like, Auntie, where are you, Auntie?
You're her.
So Sinead, where are you based? Are you in Killarney or tell us?
I'm actually in Dublin. Yeah, so that's where I'm at the moment. But I'm going down to Killarney like often enough for it to call like for me to call it maybe a second time from home. I suppose you could call it that. Like, since I've been doing paranormal investigations since I think it was 2009 I started. So I've been going up and down to Killarney, with meeting up with the team or sometimes staying over, doing stuff around there for many years. So I do travel. Yeah,
That's
Oh my
in
God.
Ireland,
fantastic.
for the paranormal. I do travel outside of Ireland as well.
Yeah, that's so great. Wow, that's like truly amazing. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that you were up in Dublin. I mean, when I had talked to
yeah.
Anthony, because again, very, very just blanket stuff, I did an
Yeah.
investigation with them this week,
Oh
up
yeah, yeah.
in County Dublin over
Up in
at
Argyllin. Yeah.
yeah, Ardgillan Castle. And so
Yeah.
that's where they kind of just like let me know that, like, a little bit, like I said, very bare bones of who you are.
Yeah.
But they didn't ever told me
Yeah.
that you just like don't live in Killarney where the rest of us are based. So that's cool.
I know. Yeah, so I don't even drive, so it's all the time that I was just getting buses around Ireland and trains, walking, all that kind of stuff to go to these investigations and get like I always get picked up at the side of a road in like an empty town in the Midlands for the
Oh,
rest of the team and the paranormal team to come and collect me. Sometimes I'm stuck there. It was years ago before the smartphones. I'd be stuck there sometimes for 4 or 5 hours. My phone was
no.
dead, and you're walking around these like ghost towns in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's some
You
good
know,
experiences from that.
oh my
Like
God.
I love a good adventure though, so it's
Oh,
it's great fun.
that's so good. And I totally think that
Yeah.
like those investigations are an adventure. And I think you have to be up for anything when you do them,
Yes,
the
you
good, the
do.
bad, the
You do.
boring, the ugly, whatever it is.
Yes. All the whole specter of stuff like that. It's just that you have to draw yourself into it. Not only that, but anything could come up and you have to be up, as you said, up for anything. And
You have
anything
to.
could be the weirdest experiments ever. And just don't have fear, really.
Yeah,
Have
no,
fear known in some of the experiments we do, but some of them are really out
I
there.
really want to hear, I want to hear everything. So like
I
I want to hear
know.
the experiment, but like I want to
Yeah.
start at the beginning. Like when did this start happening for you
For
in your life? Like
Yeah.
let's go back. Let's go back to like
I love
Baby
it. It's like
Sinead, little
every
baby toddler
yeah.
Sinead wakes up and she's
tell me
like,
that.
I can
Bring us
see.
back. Yeah, back to
Yeah,
her
like when did this
paranormal
all begin
beginnings.
for you? And then when
Yeah,
did
we're
the paranormal hunting if that's okay if I
Yes.
hunting.
So I was in college, and I was doing an assignment for college where I had to create a documentary. It was a radio documentary initially, and I did another documentary as well. And I decided to do it on paranormal in Ireland. And at the time, there was a paranormal convention. I was lucky enough that it happened to be the time I was doing the documentary in the middle of Dublin, where about 300 people congregated in this hotel, fancy hotel in the middle of Dublin, and it was paranormal convention for the day. So I went along, and I've always been interested in paranormal as a child. That's something that's always intrigued me, is ghosts, other things that could be
Yeah.
happening around.
Yeah.
And that's so like it's probably gone further back than jumping on board on the paranormal team. But
Yeah.
for the paranormal team itself,
Oh,
I went to the convention, got talking to Anthony Kerrigan, we really clicked. I went along to investigation, Drishan Castle, some of these Irish castle names. As you know yourself, like Ireland is just full of old castles. Some of them are like crumbling down at the seams. So I went along to this castle, did an interview with Anthony there, and then I decided to hop on board and stay with the team. And my first investigation was in Wicklow, like 3 months after that, my
yeah.
first proper one. And he had us in Wicklow jail, and he had me in a cell, like by myself. At the time, I was kind of terrified being by myself in the dark
Oh,
in a
yeah.
cell, calling out with an EMF meter in my hand, waiting for
Yeah.
it to like for it to go to red and some way saying, "Please don't do this." Like I'm by myself, but I loved it. I really loved it. It was just kind of intriguing. We did
Yeah.
a good bit of table tilting as well, and there
Yep.
was things happening, like little noises, things like that happening, and I just became more fascinated. And as you said previously, the curiosity, I'm a huge curious mind to everything, so I want to unravel more. And since I've been
Yeah.
on the team since 2009, yeah,
That's
Wow.
traveling around
fantastic.
Ireland, yeah, yeah,
That's amazing.
it's more of
Um,
like a journey, yeah,
yeah. So now because you kind of started like I guess in your own sort of investigative purpose, with your interviews
yeah,
and that. So
yeah.
why did you, I guess, prior to that, like what was your build up? I mentioned I guess we had an episode that we released last year, Brittany and I. It's called I don't know which episode it is, but it's like the movies that made us, or movies and
Oh
TV
yeah,
shows. So like we grew up with
yes,
like Buffy the Vampire Slayer for one, like
yeah,
Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
yes.
Hocus Pocus. That was a lot of
The
our
dark
influences,
magic.
like all of those things that like it
Yeah,
was
they're
really
brilliant.
important to us, right? And we were like, oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. Now we can do it. But was there anything like that influenced you in that sense as a child or as a
There
teen?
was, yes, there was. I'm not sure if you saw it growing up. It probably broadcasted where you grew up. I'm not too sure. Is that, Are You Afraid of the Dark? TV
Yes.
show?
Yeah.
So like,
Love the show.
it was
Yeah.
just around the spooky campfire telling stories, and then the story happened. It was done well. Of course, we had
Yeah.
Goosebumps, and we also had other things like that, and any
Goosebumps.
horror movies you could get your hand on. Like the Candyman, but accidentally watching that, as a child, and I shouldn't have been on the TV, and
Yeah.
going, "Oh my God, this is so fascinating! Get me to a mirror now," and when it's in the mirror saying Candyman, 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 and all this
That's
used
so
to happen,
crazy.
and also,
Yeah.
I'd be the kind of child who would kind of create stories, like trying to freak my parents out. I was a weird child, but like, I had a huge imagination, telling the children on the
Yeah.
road, "Oh yeah, you see, there's like a spooky Batman wearing a black cave, and like cape or a cape in the tree, and they're oh no, and this is actually terrible now. The poor children would be like, upset."
Oh my
Yeah.
God, but it's so much fun though. You have to.
Exactly. Those
And it was
poor
especially
children.
around the Halloween. It was around the Halloween era,
Yeah.
month. It wasn't just the whole year around, but it was like that, and the intriguing stories of Irish ghosts and
Yeah.
things that people heard, or that we saw this, we heard this, and I'd be like more fascinated. The more fascinating growing up was like books, kind of like spooky books, all that kind of stuff. I just found it very interesting. I think at the state time, I kind of like the mysteriousness of it, and some unanswered questions, and the mystique, and I don't know, it's kind
Yeah.
of bringing you on a journey. I really love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so good.
yeah.
I was gonna ready and like because you know me, I'll just like railroad the whole thing. So you just interject whenever you have a question.
Yep.
So now I guess I'm going into like the deeper side of things here. Maybe not deeper
Yeah.
necessarily. But now,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
somebody who's been influenced by all of this stuff and again has the passion and the curiosity to find
yeah.
out more and do more, did you ever feel like, or have a feeling that you might have some gifts or, outside of that, just the search, the
Yeah,
desire? Like, was there any inklings or
yeah.
feelings that you got?
Yeah, I would be quite intuitive person, in general in life, and I kind
Yeah.
of feel very deeply about things as well. So, um, I did realize I can pick up the energy of a room very quickly, but that's not really a gift. It's more of kind of just an intuition type thing. Um, in terms of gifts, I know some people have gifts, seeing things, all that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily have that, but I do feel that especially on investigations, I get kind of touched a lot, like, I get, touched here, I might get touched or something like that. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that is just down to me being, I can pick up being, so I like pick up being like touched very quickly. I don't know,
Yeah.
gifts that other people might have, but you never know, could have it, could be tapped in things. I'm a big believer in frequencies and all that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
like not that I want to bring up, but like, I stopped, drinking alcohol a couple of months ago, just out, once to get other stuff done or whatever, and like focus on other things, whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the more I just had to every single day is I could kind of pick up on things a lot quicker now.
Yeah.
And
That's so
I
great.
suppose like synchronicity happening, all that kind of thing. But I don't know if that's not really a gift. I think everybody
It's a
can do
gift.
that.
No, it's a gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, if you have any suspicion that it could be like special or unique, it typically is, right? So we talk about like all the
Yeah.
clairs and different forms of gifts.
Yeah.
So in terms of sense or seeing or hearing or feeling, if you're able to
Yeah.
feel spirit or feel, anything energetically like that,
Yeah.
that's a gift. Like I
Yeah.
actually, this most recent investigation we
Yes.
went on,
Yeah.
I'm like standing there, I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready. And like nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
but I just have never been one to feel spirit that way. And I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever the spirit might be.
You never know though. You never
Never
know. You
know.
could just
Never
tap
know.
into it eventually, like if you kind of just delve into it a bit more. So you think everybody has the possibility. You just need to
Yeah.
like expand and discover it a
Yeah.
bit more. Kind of tune
Exactly.
into your own self, into your own mind, your own thoughts, or as well, and be present,
Yeah.
which a lot of people are doing out there. So that
Yes.
is an important lesson, to be present
Yes.
and to be kind of more how to
Yeah.
say, on a higher frequency if you can look up
Yeah.
about higher frequency.
I
Yeah.
always say less thinking, more being. Just be, and like the things
Yes.
will happen,
Oh,
right?
yes, that's it. You're
Yeah.
totally right. Just
Yeah.
be. Yeah, I
Just
think
be.
just being is like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Being
so
too
cool.
much, you're going to be like a sensei or something, just sitting there, like being
Literally. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so
forever.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Um,
that.
sorry, Brittany, go on.
I have a feeling like I have a way of thinking like that, very similar, but with a lot of things now, but including being intuitive or being open, I have to remind myself, don't have an agenda.
Yes.
Whatever's
Yes.
supposed to happen, don't have an agenda of what you think
Yeah,
is going to happen.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I
Really
think
good
that's so
point. Yeah.
fair. I feel like, especially in investigations, and as even in investigations, those can be up for debate for a lot of people. A lot of skeptics see
Yeah.
them as more of a
Yes.
novelty, right? They don't
Yeah.
see why we're doing things, or what we're looking to get out of it, right? And
Yeah.
even when I was put in a room by myself in this last investigation, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm begging with whatever is there to like make itself known. And I'm like, this is so wrong. Do you know what I mean? Part like that's my ego. Like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Right? Like that's
Yeah.
just I have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think as well
anyways.
as that is the thing, is just the ego can take over for a lot of people. But
Yeah,
as you said, Brittany, just to let it go and don't have the agenda. And I think that just goes for a lot of things in life where people trying to control things
yeah,
or whatever. Like, yeah.
yeah.
But
No,
especially when investigations is good, just to roll with it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So now in your, I guess, tenure of being a PI of sorts, a paranormal
Yeah.
investigator,
Yeah.
a PPI, professional paranormal investigator. Now that I don't know, I guess is that your main gig, or have do you do anything outside of this for yourself or like work? I don't know. I like truly don't know you at all. And I feel like that's a safe
Yeah.
space to ask. Like, so what do you do?
Yeah. 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 It's like an interview. Like, Um, well, see, at the moment I took time off work. I
Yes.
wasn't gonna say what I was working in, like, but I needed to
Yeah.
take time off it,
Oh,
and
that's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
really just enjoying life a lot at the moment. I'm trying to set up my own YouTube channel, doing
Right.
videography of different things and fun events in
Fantastic.
Dublin.
Good.
So, with the camera, editing, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be getting off the ground and launching this weekend. It's called Pump Up the Jam Ireland.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, so I'm just trying to get that off the ground at the moment. Like last week, we were in Dublin. There was a drum and bass guy called Dom Whiting, and if you
Okay.
check him up on YouTube for anybody who's into drum and bass, he gets on a bike, goes around the whole of England. I think he's gone to Europe too. I'm not too sure. I think he has. Like Paris, all those. Like he got in Dublin, it was pissing rain. I don't know if you remember last Sunday where you're living, Jessica. Like it was
Where
a
were we?
pissing rain anyway. Like it
Oh
was really bad.
yeah. It was bad. Oh my God.
It was buckets. So I was out there on the bike. I was on the bike. He got the bike. He was DJing on the bike, and he films it for YouTube. He's a massive following. So I was there with the GoPro, and I just ran for the hour and a half after him with film and everything,
Like,
That's amazing.
like a mad
Oh my
woman. And then now my camera is broken, so I have to get it fixed tomorrow. Like it got waterlogged. So I had a good
wow.
time. So look, I'm just trying to. At the
Oh,
moment, I kind of felt in the last, I would say, month or two to go back to. I was doing this stuff in
yeah.
college years ago,
Yeah.
and I think it's where I'm supposed to be. Is like
Yeah.
this channel
Good.
and stuff is like just pump. So like some positivity back into Dublin City, and I'll
That's
show this a lot of
great.
stuff that's going on because I do a lot of roller skating as well. So I'm
Yeah.
part of a roller skating group called Skate Revolution, which is a lot of fun, and do improv comedy as well.
That it
So
all
that's
makes
twice a
sense.
week.
It all makes sense,
Yeah,
I feel.
yeah, yeah. So
You're
like
creative and you're
I need to
driven.
yeah, so I need to now basically want to film all this and get up
Yeah.
this up and running. So that's where I'm at the moment,
You know,
enjoying but also now filming things. Yeah.
God.
that's great. I think that's so
Yeah.
important to hear as well that like because people do invest solely in this as a career and as financially,
Yeah.
yeah, holy, you could be so successful at it. But it's like
Yeah.
if you do come to a point where it's like, but you have other passions, as you should be. You should have a million passions. So I love that you
Yeah.
are recognizing other parts of yourself and giving that
Yes.
light to another area.
It,
That's so
you're
good.
so true. That's so right. It's just to give light to other things. I don't know if you're interested in the Enneagram or anything like that. It's kind of a spiritual,
Definitely.
how to say,
Yes.
1 to 9 of personality types. It's
Yes. The
really
Enneagram
interesting. I've
Tester. We've done that
Yeah.
before
do you
We
know it?
did yeah, we did the
with
what is
Corey.
what is it called? So you called it an Enneagram.
Yeah, so there's another one called the Myers-Briggs. So, and there's the Enneagram. The Enneagram is the more spiritual thing. So
Okay.
I've delved into that in the last four,
Oh,
5 years, and I've books on
amazing.
this. So I'm very interested
I
in that.
love
So
it.
it gives you more clarity about who you are, why you're acting like that way, depending on your number, your coping mechanisms, your
Yeah.
blind self, all that kind of thing. Yeah,
We are
Oh,
it's
into
very
it.
interesting. Yeah.
We've done like
So your
a
viewers get on the
yeah,
Enneagram, look up your Enneagram type, and sort your life out.
yes.
yeah.
No, it's that
I'm
in mind. Yeah,
seriously like we'll make sure to like include that. Like we would love to just like dive in and like dedicate a whole episode to that. Now, hold on, before I go or before we move on, I just want to see
write
here.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna write it down.
write it down. It's ENNEAG.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're way ahead of me. I've decided to do this a very slow way. And ENN, sorry.
ENNEAG or AM.
Okay, perfect. Enneagram test,
So,
personality lab. Cool. So this isn't the
so if you
same,
don't,
Brittany, as what we did. We did like more of like a birth chart.
well, that's so interesting as well, isn't it?
It's very
Birth
similar.
chart. Yeah,
Because does it ask for
yeah,
like your date and time of birth and like that kind of stuff? Is it
yeah. You
based
have to get
on
your exact. That's it.
time?
The
Okay.
exact time,
Okay,
exact
cool.
date. Did you have your? Do you know your birth? Where's your birth rising sign and moon signs and all that? Or
We've
do you
done
know?
that too. And I'm like, oh God, what is it? I know that like I'm a
Yeah,
Taurus moon. And
yeah.
then
I
Brittany, I
don't
think,
know a lot about.
yeah. No,
But I know I'm just Aquarius moon,
yeah.
Aquarius rising. Too
I
much
have it
Aquarius.
in here. That sounds so bad because we've like literally dedicated so much time to this, and I'm like, I don't know what I am. But as it goes, it's like once I give a minute, I'll be
Yeah,
able to. I know that Brittany, we're both
yeah.
generators, or are we both projectors?
We are both projectors.
Projectors in terms of our.
Think it's frozen. Oh, you're back. Yeah,
Sorry, did so yeah, we're both. Sorry, Brittany, we're projectors. So we're
We
like,
are,
Okay,
yeah.
it's interesting. I don't know what that is. Yeah,
we're so
but I
that's
need to look
similar.
it up.
It's like a five to
Yeah.
freaking 10. We do
So
this
this
all
is,
the time.
but Jessica, that's human
Human
design.
design, but it's
Yeah.
similar. It would be
Oh,
like very similar to what you're saying. It's just a different side of things. You would love that. You would
yeah, it's
unlock
interesting.
even
Yes, that's
more.
something I don't know about.
So
Thank you so much.
yeah,
I actually
human
found that
design.
some
Jessica,
research.
but in Anagram, I forget how to say it already. But
Enneagram.
we've
Yeah.
done with Corey Smithen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's like the what does she call it? Not your soul number, but your ruling number. That's different there
Yeah.
too, Brittany. I just looked because it's more like a personality
Oh, it's
test.
interesting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the Myers-Briggs I've done before. So
Myers-Briggs.
like
yeah, the
I
Myers.
know what I am from
Yeah.
Myers-Briggs. But
But the
Are
the
you an
Enneagram,
INFJ? Are you an INFJ? No,
I
I,
am. That's
I guess because you give me the INFJ energy. I am very good at this.
like, I
I'm
don't know.
just like, oh man,
I
yeah,
think
that I
Jessica's
am.
an
I'm not-
ENFJ.
You think
And
so?
I've taken that test like probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, and every
Yeah,
single time, same thing where I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
I'm
yeah.
yeah.
like,
I'm an ENFP. Yeah, on it. Yeah,
I
so,
would not
yeah,
even know. I don't know
yeah,
if I've ever done a Myers-Briggs. I probably have like in
In
school
high
years
school,
ago,
they asked
but
us to, so
yeah.
that's where it all began. But you can do it for free
neat.
online.
I will do all of the
Yeah, there's loads of
things.
places. There's like
If I
I've loads
could,
of books and that. Yeah.
the more I understand about what the fuck's happening with myself, the better.
Do it. Oh my God, it's like, it's a lifesaver. It
Oh
really
yeah.
is.
Literally
It really truly
crazy.
is. Just delve
Yeah.
into those Enneagram and even the Myers-Briggs, just
Yeah.
dig deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's so important. Okay, where was it? There was a few weeks ago. I as like I feel like as life progresses, as it does, certain like phrases and stuff comes out. And this is so I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but my channel
Yeah.
is through my throat chakra. Sometimes it just comes out like that.
Yes.
But a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, the line said it was like it had to do with our parents and how like we're meeting expectations and we're hard on them, they're hard on us, whatever, but then we don't
Yeah. Yeah.
remember or we forget that it's also their first time living, and it's getting
Yeah.
that perspective that like they haven't done this before either, they just have done it
Yeah.
a little bit
We're growing
quick.
up with our parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Is like the sooner we understand ourselves, the better we can help understand others. And it doesn't matter. So
Yes.
even, in that times of conflict or misunderstanding or like, I guess misunderstanding is like, I don't understand why they do this or why they don't do this or why I do this. And it's just like
Yeah.
giving ourselves the keys to open the doors and get all the answers by these things.
Yeah.
So
It is so interesting though when you do that
yeah,
because once you open the doors and get the keys to open the doors and figure out other people as well as yourself through all these kind of things, it
yeah.
makes life a bit easier and you don't kind of like have conflict with people that you're gonna have conflict, but you're not gonna like be like, why are they doing this or
No,
how dare they
exactly.
or
Yeah. Or how do I progress this? How do I
yeah,
give
exactly. That
myself
is
the
another
right foot, right? It's not about what's wrong
yeah,
or what's good.
yeah,
It's how do
yeah,
I make my life more productive and accomplish
yeah,
more,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
such an
good.
Enneagram tree thing to say. I don't know
Yeah.
what to say.
Ta-da, ta-da. That'll be like my thing that I'll be doing for the rest of the night here.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Um, I was gonna say here, okay, what was it? I lost it. I lost it. It
What
happened.
was that
Okay.
thing? Yeah.
Well,
We were talking about like what I do other than paranormal
Yes.
stuff. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm doing at the moment, and I kind of want to go on
Oh,
that track as well and see what I can get out there. So kind of,
very
I
good.
was kind of the exploration thing, but now especially in the last 2, 3 weeks, I'm in the focus zone. I'll be
That's so
focusing for a
good.
while.
I
Yeah, yeah,
love that. Yeah, that's really
yeah.
neat.
So the focus zone is needed, and the focus zone happened, and hence
Exactly.
I think it's because like I'm trying to do this higher frequency at the moment and everything like that. By eating the right foods, getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
that's
all
so
yeah,
good. And
yeah,
right, higher frequency, you're allowing yourself, we
yeah.
talked about light, but like you're putting yourself first a little bit more to help elevate your own vibration. That's so
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. To help then help others to vibrate on a higher level as well.
Yeah.
I hope, that's where I
Yes.
want to go.
I
Yes.
guarantee, I
Yeah,
guarantee it will
yeah, I hope.
happen.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm to have good promises now, like to
Yeah.
myself, and hope.
Exactly. You already have it. You got to talk as if you've already have it or you've already accomplished it because that's manifesting in the today time.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a good,
Yeah.
good self-belief in the especially last 2 weeks. Oh my God, I was down at those plowing championships yesterday. Two of
Oh
those,
yeah.
I've never been.
I've never
I'm
been.
not even. It's a fan.
what is
Farming around.
plowing? What is
It's
plowing?
like you're in the field with like loads of tractors are just like scooping up the muck, but like the whole place is like 1,000 full of stands and all kind of things going on.
Yeah.
Got to do with farming. I've no farming interest, but after yesterday, I went down my camera, but I didn't. I had a GoPro because my other camera broke on the run, so have this camera. But after about half an hour, I gave up on it because it was just full of muck, 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 and floods of muck. So I did that yesterday. But that's off topic, and I
That's
digress. So
fine.
like, yeah.
The only reason I know about the plowing festival is because on my TikTok it's like, oh, did you check out the plowing festival? I'm like, what? Anyways, we do
Yeah,
have farming background, but like we're pretty separated from it. Like
yeah,
we're from Canada. Like
yeah.
I'm living here in Killarney. My sister's back in Canada. We're raised on the prairies, like the middle bit where
Yeah.
it's very
Oh,
flat and
nice.
very farmy. Farmland
Farming. Yeah, yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
So like we
yeah,
grew up in the environment, but don't have firsthand knowledge of like any of that, unless
Exactly.
Brittany does, and I
yeah,
don't know about
yeah.
Nothing, nothing.
I
But
think after yesterday, I have a new found respect for farmers. Like I was like, yeah, they work really hard.
They do. Absolutely, they
Yeah,
do. Blood, sweat, and tears,
there's
family
more to it.
business. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so cool. So now, in terms of, because again, we're gonna pick on you, not pick on you, dissect you. I want to know everything.
that's all right.
So,
That's okay.
so
Yeah,
because we're in this industry that is a little funky and a little,
yeah,
misconceptions, people don't know what the fuck we're doing or like why we're trying
yeah,
to bring awareness to
yeah,
this. Um,
yeah.
has it ever at any point gone against you, or have you felt some resistance from others or your family? How are they supportive? Do they understand what you're doing and you're passionate about?
I'd say there like a lot of people at some were kind of like, why you at the beginning they were like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
That's like where they would kind of ridicule me, I suppose, because there's a lot of non-believers as well. So like, oh
Yeah.
my God, oh she's off doing her ghosty things again, trying to
Yeah.
undermine you. Oh, she's off chasing her ghosts, or oh she's on her Ghostbuster days, again, so like
Yeah.
just kind of undermine the whole situation and kind of
Yeah.
infantilize it a little bit. Like, it's so stupid. Anyway, so I had that and a lot of that. And then you have other people who would be very intrigued. And then you'd have people who, especially my mom, who doesn't believe but doesn't want to hear because she's terrified. So there's another thing, who would be absolutely terrified. Oh, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. Oh, this happened or this we're using. Oh, I don't want to hear. Don't want to hear. So you get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it's interesting that you're the
yeah.
fear as well for some people, but it's interesting as well. Some people say they don't believe, but if you put them in a position to do something like that, no
Yeah.
matter what experiments or whatever tests are coming up with, they'll be terrified and they'll be kind of, I suppose, look, you'd be surprised, I'd say, yeah,
Yeah, seriously. And now, do you think that that's like, I
yeah,
guess, given your history, you're in Ireland, is that an Irish thing? Is that like a religious fear? Or is it like,
yeah.
when it's like
I
some people
think
test it. Go ahead, sir.
yes. I think Ireland used to have, a whole country used to be awash with believers, and it was built into a kind of heritage where people tell stories or they believe in things happening around them, be more in tune to the land and more in tune to the environment and to nature and stuff like that. But over the years, due to other things that happen in the country, I think people gradually become more skeptical, about
Yeah.
things, I presume. I don't, however, it's more like I need to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
However, there are people here in Ireland that do believe as well. So I think people are gradually, their minds are being opened up a bit more in
Yes.
relation to
Yeah.
that, people believing, and it's not as ridiculed anymore due to, you'll have things on YouTube and everything over the years of people running
Yeah.
around fields looking for ghosts. So it's not as ridiculed
Yeah.
anymore as I thought it would, like, 20 years or, even 2006, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
I
do you think?
totally
Yeah.
agree. Totally
Yeah.
agree. And we always talk about the
Yeah.
awakening that's happening and like everybody's starting to,
Yeah.
get those
Yeah.
inklings and open up
Yeah.
that way. So that's so good. It is, I
Yeah.
think,
It's
with
interesting,
time,
isn't it? That,
it
yeah.
is, you'll
Yeah.
always have people who are skeptic
Yeah.
or unsure
Yeah.
or afraid, and that's perfect. There should be
That's
balance, there
okay.
should
Yeah.
be variety. If we were all on the same
Yeah.
page already,
Yeah.
there'd be no use for us, right? So it's
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
push the boundary. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to switch gears again here. I just kind of was thinking, in terms of people being skeptic, and you're in the film industry. So, in your lifetime of investigations and exploration in the sense, have you captured anything on camera? And if you've posted it, how has the reception been? Are people like, oh, it's fake, oh, it's this, you know what I mean? Are they trying to explain it away? What is your
Yeah.
experience as a creator?
You would be surprised the amount of authentic footage that is captured in camera that you
Yeah,
see on these shows as like actual ghosts or something. We have never really like captured something in camera ourselves. Personally, I think people can, but it's very, very rare.
yeah,
I think in terms of capturing things is more sound, and I don't know if you probably
yeah,
know yourself. There's this thing called EVP,
yeah,
electronic voice phenomena, that when you listen back to this footage, you can then hear the voices come through, different voices altogether, different accents sometimes. And I find that so fascinating. In terms of where technology is going, I think there could be in the future possibility to capture things happening, but things don't often happen all the time, and it's hard.
yeah,
You nearly probably have to be a day in, day out to actually capture something. Some of the
yeah,
shows that are on, they'll kind of create things to happen where and visually now, like
yeah,
EVPs, the voices and stuff like that, it could be authentic because I've heard them through our own footage or our own like audio, and that fascinates me even more because where are they? When we're in the investigation, we'll hear nothing and we won't
yeah,
hear a thing. And then afterwards, Antti does he's
yeah,
fantastic at his job at the ghost area because he has tons of footage to review. He do reviews all the footage like mainly second by second by everything. So he'll capture these things, and it's just fascinating to hear them back because I'm like, wow,
yeah,
understand how it's
right,
probably living alongside another
Yeah.
other thing or dimension that's
yeah,
all happening as well. And
Yeah,
we
yeah,
obviously
literally.
feel and touch things, but is there an
yeah.
aspect that we can't
Is
see or
and
yeah,
there's
I
like
don't know. Yeah.
in recent episodes in our, I guess, one that's about to come out this weekend, and then in other ones as well, we've talked about like multi-dimensional, not beings, but circumstances where we are living in the same room as these people, and just in a different
Yeah.
dimension of sorts. So this
Yeah.
last,
Yeah.
my brother-in-law Cameron, if you're familiar with Cameron Murphy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cameron. Yeah,
that's my
yeah. Yeah.
brother-in-law.
Yeah,
So that's
Cameron. Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
how I'm all tied in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
But we had a really good
Yeah,
chat on
yeah.
the way back about,
Yeah.
actually his questions during the EVP were like, where do you exist? What are you, a human? What's your species? You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like, yeah, in a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
dimension, we're not all human, you know what I mean? Or there has to be, it could be
Yeah.
a star seed, it could be something completely different. We don't
Yeah.
know. And I think that's part of
Yeah.
this too, is like
Yeah.
being open to whatever. Again, that comes down to that, like the really great questions. He had a great lineup of questions regarding that
Yeah.
interdimensional, you know, kind of stuff.
Yeah, the interdimensional world that we just don't know what's going on, or to them they could
Exactly.
be. Could you imagine them just investigating us, and like
Exactly.
we
Well,
can
I was
hear
thinking, I'm
them.
like, we're sitting in one of the kitchens of this castle, and I'm like, for all we know, they're like, what the hell's happening in this kitchen? Like, we're just trying to get stuff done and
Yeah,
ready and blah, blah, you know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah,
why is there like, it's noisy and things are sounds like, we could be haunting them in
yeah.
our search for an
We
investigation,
exactly,
like
exactly.
disturbing
You
them,
just don't
right?
know. You
Yeah.
just don't know. I don't know. Have you looked into astral projection and stuff like that?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
something? So I
Yeah.
find very fascinating books. There's a really good book, but it's called William Berman. I worked there, and there's yeah, different techniques and different tactics and how to do it.
Yeah.
But I find it really interesting if it
Yeah.
is a possibility, I'm not too sure, but hopefully it is that like,
Yeah.
we could actually leave our body or something and
Yeah.
be somewhere else. But it takes practice, yeah.
It does. We actually have a very good friend, Bev
But
Lazan,
it's
who
very
we mention on every podcast. She is like a very strong medium, and in
okay.
recent, I guess, in conversations with
Yeah.
her, like she's shared times where she's been able to transmit energy. So like be in body and soul here, but be
Okay.
able to
Yeah.
like peer over somebody's shoulder, in another town or wherever the heck. So I mean, we have
Okay.
few people of
Like remote
instances.
viewing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like literally, it's like
Yeah.
I was there, and like that person like felt
Yeah.
her there and was like, I felt like there was
Yeah.
something going on. It's like out of sorts, right? So it's that
That's
kind of,
amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
So you
neat.
never know, just have to project yourself somewhere else, and you could
Yeah.
actually meet up with the book I read. It was just so fascinating. It was about this guy who worked as an executive businessman in the 1960s, and he went through the astral projection without wanting to or not knowing what it was, and it happened every single night. And Monroe, Bob Monroe was his name. So if any
Okay.
of the viewers want to look
Bob
up that.
Monroe.
So he opened up some Bob Monroe, and then the doctors got involved, scientists got involved. There was so much involved in,
Yeah.
trying to scientifically prove if this was happening. So they would try out different things, put objects in, a hospital, or move something around, all that kind of thing, or put in different items. And he was able to recall then when he came out of the astral projection exactly who he saw, what he heard, and all this. So they tested numerous of times until they were like, okay, that's got to be something there. So he opened up the Monroe Institute, and it's in America where people go to practice that, and they give a whole, insight into try and do it in different techniques. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in those places, he was able to see people and visit people he didn't even know, or,
Yeah.
he didn't know who they were. And, he would come across other people or other types of beings or lights or whatever. Yeah.
That's so
And
cool.
then
And
wake up,
sorry.
like, and have breakfast and, like, go
Yeah.
to work. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, I think the beauty of this kind of world is like it's endless and there's always going to be something new coming out, which is cool because it's not
Yeah.
new. It's just, we
Yeah.
just discovered it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, a new branch that was
Yeah,
always
I know.
there.
And it's
We
always
just,
fascinating.
yeah,
Yeah.
like we just finally have a name for it and can communicate how,
Yeah.
what it is and how to tap into it or how to practice that tap in. Yeah, that's so cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
never know what could happen in another world when you can go investigate things. You're just gonna
Exactly.
open yourself up to all elements and try out as many things as you can. Like, yeah. Did you have you tried out any Ouija boards yourself, talking boards?
Yeah, so we've okay, so I've said in the podcast before, like I have done Ouija board, but I will only do it with Anthony and Jennifer Kerrigan. There's just nobody
Yeah,
else. I
they're
feel
so
like
good.
they're so good, and I feel like
They're
I trust
sick.
them
Yeah,
really well, to
they're
open
so
it up
good.
and
Yeah.
close it, right? Because that's always going to
Yeah.
be a fear of mine because of, misconceptions from Hollywood.
Yeah.
But also
Yeah.
it's what's the word I'm looking for? They have okay, so like in the stores now, they're trying to market the Ouija board, right? So yeah, today I was at where
Yeah.
was I? I don't know, I was at a shop anyways, and they have like a Ouija board, like they've got like the trays or like a pillow that's a Ouija board. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is
Oh, I never knew
romanticizing.
that. Like they
Yeah,
have that here in Ireland.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. At
I
TK
haven't seen
Maxx.
that yet. I need to go to the
TK
shops and
Maxx.
have a look.
Yeah, it's there. And I
So
was like,
anybody can create one. It's only a piece
Trending.
of,
yeah,
it's only
It's trending
letters
for
at the end of the
Halloween.
day.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's
So
like I feel like romanticizing it like that, like you get one silly kid with a cookie trying to try something. It's like if you have intention, it could work. And you don't know what
yeah.
you're dealing
Yeah.
with, right? So, anyways, but yes, I've done
Yeah.
I've done Ouija. We did
Yeah.
the what is it called? Uh the asking board, is that
The
what it was?
Oh, did
The
you ask for
permission,
permission to use their
permission
voice?
board.
Yeah, I asked the
Yeah,
spirit to use
yeah,
or give permission
yeah,
to use their
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
So
did
when I
that
did
too.
the
Did you do
most
scrying? Have you done
I've done
the scrying?
scrying. We didn't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it. We didn't do it this last one, but yeah, when we did like the permission board this time, because again, I was kind of skeptical, but I was
Yeah.
like, no, like I'm here to participate fully, and I want to be brave enough to
Yes.
participate, right? So that was my stepping into the
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and of
Yeah,
course,
well
there's
done.
the
Yeah, yeah.
three of us there, and one gets, I give your permission to, um, like the trauma exchange, so like make your trauma my trauma or whatever, like to experience
Yeah.
that. So there was one there. We
Yeah.
had another one was what was it? I can't remember what the other one is, but mine was, of course, and prior to me even like really saying anything to the spirits, it was like I give you your permission to use my voice as your voice. And I'm like, okay, one,
Yeah.
like again, that's my channel. I was like, that's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah.
okay, again, not trying to be like and being afraid of it. It's like, no, no, no. Okay, I have to remember to like, if it's gonna happen, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, so that was my experience. Like, okay, now I'm gonna
Yeah.
go into a room and talk to
Yeah.
no one and hope piano plays. Reality of it. But I did it. I did do it by myself and with a camera and
Yeah, well done. It takes just a one and you just get used to it. And the interesting thing is like from doing the investigations for years is that like your fear factor goes oh, it goes higher, so you won't be afraid anymore. You know what I mean? At
Exactly.
all. Yeah.
I think, and that's what I was like, you have to just try it. And I think, yeah, again,
Yeah.
we're tickling the curiosities. It's like, it's not just a
Yeah.
spooky season thing. People are like, great, it's Halloween season, let's do it. And I'm like, we would have been doing these investigations earlier in the year. We would do it any time of the
Yeah.
year. It just happened to be that it was finally fall or autumn time that we could get out there to do
Yeah.
it, right? Like
Yeah.
spooky all
Exactly. Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
think like more people should give it a go. Like, yeah, in
Yeah, and make
society,
it
like they did in the Victorian times or something. Just not as
exactly.
morbid as the Victorians, but
No,
let's do it. And
exactly. Be open to it anyways. Less persecution anyways about that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So Britt, how are you doing over there? Is Harrison, keeping you busy? Hey, oh
yeah.
Harrison. Well, hairy man. Oh,
Yeah,
she's
sorry, I've had
muted.
to
So good.
been screaming. But
That's
I did
okay.
have a question. Don't mind him.
Britt,
Don't mind
it's
him.
okay.
Um, I did have a question.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's
Oh.
okay. It's fine. Don't worry. Take your time, Britt.
Okay. With all the paranormal investigating that you've done and the voice recordings that you've been getting from other realms, has there been anything dark that you have encountered? Or anything that
Um,
stuck with you that you're like, wow, that was crazy?
Let me think. I find the weirdest thing, the voices I find intriguing. They will say some of them are like, get out or you shouldn't be here, all this kind of thing. But the weirdest thing before I think would be down in a hotel down in Wexford, where the phones were called, like the hotel phones were broken. The old phone was broken, he said, and
Yeah.
then that was started working and the phone was ringing during their investigation. So I went over to pick it up, but you just hear crackly noise on. He says that phone is broken. It's been broken about a year now. It was just there in their kitchen and it's
Yeah.
ringing. And then it happened to be that the new phone beside it was calling it. It's weird.
So it's
Happened
like,
like three times. And
oh
then at
my
the same
gosh.
time, we were there, and I think someone's phone started calling, and then someone else's phone was ringing from private number. And that it was a joke, like, and everybody now, like, and I
Like,
remember having to stay in the hotel by myself, going, oh no, and everyone went home, because I live in Dublin, I stayed overnight, thinking, oh God, someone's going to pop up in my room now any
yeah.
second or whatever, yeah.
Right.
Or
Oh
you'll
my
hear
goodness.
I heard screeching outside the outside there was like a dog barking or some dogs there. It was a tiny little town, but there was no dogs in the hotel vicinity or near the hotel or outside of it 3 o'clock in the morning. Right outside it was
Yeah.
like whoo, 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 and it was, I don't know, but it was just really eerie. Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of, yeah. I
You
mean,
do.
it can be scary if you give it the
Yeah.
thought of scary, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
we're dealing with stuff we don't
That
know.
wasn't in the
Yeah.
early days. That was one
Yeah.
of those things that stuck with me in the early days. You'll see like is EVPs with some of them. I think a lot of spirits when they do talk from the other side or wherever they are, what these voices are, not necessarily being, even if the messages that come across are menacing, or what we claim is
Yeah.
menacing or bad, or it's just more of a there could be scared as well, get
Yeah.
out, or like,
Exactly.
what is this, or not you, or whatever
Yeah.
comes up. It's more or less they could be like, what the hell is this, or yeah.
Exactly. Well, this
So I
the
don't see it
cast.
as,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I wouldn't see it as scary per se, but I'd be more intrigued to know more about who they are, what is it, like, or
Yes.
kind of saying, are you all right? Like, do
Yeah.
you,
You okay?
do
You
you
okay?
know,
Yeah. We this
yeah,
last investigation, it was
yeah,
the first investigation of its time in this castle.
yeah,
So it was
yeah,
owned by the Taylor family from, oh gosh, okay, up until the 1970s. Anyways, in the 1920s is when they really
yeah,
started to like not put money into it, really didn't upkeep it for
yeah,
about 40 years. And so, the new hands becomes like the county has taken it over, and like now they're finally, allowing people to do this kind of stuff there. So of course we're in there and we've got cameras and we've got EVP and we've got all this stuff. And
yeah,
during our call out session, it was like, if there's a camera here, do you know what a camera is? And of course the thing would say no. We're like, okay, so like we have to
like,
really go into like what we're doing here because it's kind of scary. But yeah,
yeah.
that's funny.
There's also
Anyway,
this thing as well, the EEG brainwaves thing,
yes,
just
okay.
to put on your head, like, and if you look up on the website and just to see what brainwaves you go into. if particular words are said or if there's something like that. So it depends where you are, if you're meditative or relaxed, or if you're hyped up, different energies could gravitate towards
Yes.
whatever way. So we just try and
Yeah.
test that out. Like, is hyped up the best way, or is being meditative the best way? I
Exactly, right?
do.
Because they're going to feed
Yeah.
off of something, right? It's either going to be high frequency or
Yeah.
it's going to be low frequency, right? So
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Well,
I often
cool.
find like if you're maybe in a chaotic environment or something, or laughing away or having a joke with people, I think that's
Yeah.
when, spirits could come in, more readily than if you're just in the quiet meditation. That's just a personal opinion,
Yeah.
like, not necessarily saying like
No, I think
Anthony, you can
so.
go spirit to talk to them else, but like I think it's if you're like jovial, or it's when you're having a bit of a laugh with people, I think that's
Yeah.
when you might hear things come in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why can't everybody have fun? Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, like
I we're gonna head into our card portion of the
oh,
evening
I
here.
need to
So,
look a little bit more on the cards myself. Yeah.
no, for sure. So, Brittany, do you want to go
Yeah.
first? How is it over there? Is little man in his little chaotic state? You're muted still. You're muted.
Yeah, he's pretty loud.
Whatever you want to
Pretty
do.
crazy.
It's totally up to you.
That's
However
all
you
right.
feel like you want to do it.
I'm into it. Well, we're gonna do the cards. Excuse me, sir. I just don't know what you want. What you want? All the things, and he's like, I just don't want any. I don't want it. But I feel like we could ask you like a million questions and like talk to you forever. So
No,
it's hard to get to the card portion to be like, oh, we're gonna have to wrap
exactly.
it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like a lot of fun, just to have this
No.
conversation. Good talk.
Thank you.
It
Yeah.
is.
Um, in terms of like what we're doing right now for the reading, so because just to keep you up to date here today, so I'd say like we do a card pull for the collective. So we don't know what
Okay.
date this is going to come out. So essentially when we're
Okay.
doing our card pulls, we're like intentionally thinking, okay, when the people who listen to this podcast or like it graces their ears, what's going to help them out? Who is this going to resonate with? It's going to be that person that happens to find this at the right time. Right. So that's where we're are
Yeah.
focusing our energy. So as Brittany's doing her shuffle there, I'll wait until she unmutes, but I'll just show you if you're not familiar with tarot, because this is on YouTube as well. We're going to have this on our channel. So we always like knock on the deck, push out the old energy, and focus in the energy here. So I'm going to ask for the collective energy. Again, for the people who are going to be hearing this for the first time, whenever they happen to be, wherever in the world, whatever time, I hope that this information comes up for them and resonates with them and helps give them the confidence and clarity and, maybe confirmation about what they might need to know going forward. So I'll let Britt, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Oh, Britt, you're ready. Okay, perfect. Go ahead. What deck do you
I'm
have?
ready. Okay, so I have my Archangel Power Tarot because I just love that deck so much.
There you go.
And I'm going
Perfect.
to try not to rush through what I'm saying, but I am going to also try to rush.
That's okay, Brittany. Don't worry. Do you want to soothe him first? I can go first if you want to soothe him.
So good. There's nothing he can be done to soothe him today.
Okay, cool.
He's just
Nice.
being a dink.
He's a little dink. He's almost 6 months and he's just,
Oh.
Active little man.
It shows.
Yeah.
So I got the Three of Michael. Sorry, I'll put that up a little bit better.
I got this card.
I know.
Here's my grocery list of cards. Yeah.
Yeah, here's all the cards, but I have the deck open too because I have only one hand. So the Three of Michael is release the past. You will grow from this situation. Time will heal all wounds. So you will grow from this situation. When challenging events occur, it's important to take time to heal. You do not have to do it alone. Ask your angels, guides, or human friends for assistance. Forgive everyone involved, including yourself, for actions and choices you may see as having been unkind and in error. Time truly does heal all wounds. Ask your angels and guides to help you see the reason for the situation in your life. A new perspective could allow you to view things in a different light. Know that you're becoming a stronger person over time because of this challenge. So additional meanings is just time to release the past and what could be a heart condition. So this
Heart condition. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heart condition. This is the Three of Michael.
Very good.
Yeah. Gonna mute back here.
Go ahead. You're fine. With that card, would you mind holding it up again, Brittany, just so I can see it? Excellent. So, okay, so the three of Michael, when I first saw that card, whether you want me to interpret it or not, Brittany, I think you did an excellent job. But now I see where the heart's coming in here because I do like it's very dark on like the face and very solemn there, and it's almost like we have to like focus inward a little bit. That's where we're like concentrating. But then I did see the dove as well. So the dove is like to me like hope, right? It's like a jovial kind of thing. It is like no matter what we're dealing with in here, like there'll still be something really bright looking for us or looking after us or maybe guiding with us. So that's what I got from there. That's that healing motion. So yeah, and then I'm gonna pull from my, of course, this is one I do basically every week, Sinead. It's called The Wild Unknown
Yeah,
Animal
I love it.
Spirit
Yeah.
by Kim Krantz.
Yeah.
It's my favorite ever. Like it's my favorite. I have many
Different
tarot and
decks have
oracle.
different energy, or how does they work, or
Yeah.
like
So
the
like this one
collective?
is so sometimes I pull tarot for this, but very rarely. Like, because when I go
Yeah.
tarot, I go like full tarot. Like I can't just do one card and like leave it there.
Okay.
I'm like,
All right.
we
Yeah. All right.
gotta
Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
all. Yeah. I get like, as you can
Yeah.
tell,
Yeah.
I kind of get into it. So and then in terms
Yeah.
of, the tarot is split up into the major arcana and the minor arcana. So it's very much like a card
Yeah.
deck or like the suits, right, is the minor, and then like the main,
Yeah.
headers are the major. So those ones you can dive in for days, right? Depending on who you're reading. So this is more like an
Yeah.
oracle. So this one is, scripted specifically by Kim Krantz, who also does other variations of decks. But I mean, the beauty of oracle, or I feel like they relate a lot well to like angel cards, right? Is they're still very spiritual, but they're definitely more on like the lighter side. This book, however, does go on both sides, right? It's going to tell you, the pros and the cons. And this is it's like a relative animal. So that's why I like it. So yeah, I've already done this for our people. Let's see. Let's see what's coming up here. It's okay. Okay. It's here. Okay. Let's see. I got the wolf. Actually, I feel like there might be one more in there. So before I do that, I also because I do read like at face value, but with this one, because it's so long, I just read it out loud. So there's the wolf energy. So the guardian of family and tribe, activism, and ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, and/or teaching, religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it is surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. So contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. So when we're in balance as wolf energies, we are reliable, democratic, and fearless. When we're out of balance, we're judgmental or dominating. To bring it to balance, practice letting go, as that's very applicable, as letting go of past traumas. I did have another one here, which is the mouse energy. Let's see. So the mouse energy is also an earth energy. Let's
Yeah.
see what else we got here. Oh, excuse me. Mouse, mouse, where are you? Okay, mouse. Detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, or nervous. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. So when you're in balance, you're organized, resourceful, prepared. When you're out of balance, you're busy with no purpose. So to bring it to balance, a meaningful project. I actually think that card was for you, Sinead, in your refocus and your desire to bring that passion back, right? And like a purpose, right? And I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Am I allowed to read your energy first of all? Is that okay? If I just like tap a
Yeah.
little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I did kind of get
Yeah.
that inkling of like lost, you know what I mean? Or not even, it's not even that you need to refocus, but like I think it's easy to get wrapped up in something and forget what we love to do, and it's like you're just finally giving yourself permission to like find that happiness in other areas and forgiving yourself for stepping back
Yeah.
from certain things, right, to engage in other things. And I think maybe that's something that you've got to continue to forgive yourself, and allow, however, you can't control how other people react, but you can control how you react. And I think that that's really important for you right now, is remembering that this is all for the benefit of you. Your team wants you to know that this is all for your benefit, is this whole,
Yeah.
new lease. Anyways, okay, cool. That's all I got. I could,
Yeah,
like I
that
said, I
makes a
could
lot
keep
of
going,
sense. That
but
resonates.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's
that
good.
resonated big time. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit the
So,
nail on the head there. Yeah.
boom, love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So,
Not
yeah,
that I
so
was mousy before, but
no,
yeah, I was
but
retreating.
no,
I was
exactly. It's
retreating
all
away from
good.
myself. Yeah.
It's okay, but right, we do it without even realizing, right? That's why this
Yeah.
deck,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So before we go, you've got a few projects going on there. Where can people find you? How, what's going on? What
See,
what can our people know about?
they're good. We launch like maybe in the next couple of days, so it's not like whenever this goes out or whatever. So, it was like Pump Up the Jam Ireland.
Oh yes,
It's
yep.
kind of
Top of the
at the
gem.
moment it's not really launched, but it will be launched. And the other one I'll give a shout out to Ghost Era,
Yeah,
because I've been with them for a long time, and they're good friends of mine. So here we go, Ghost underscore Era underscore paranormal. It is
yes,
our Instagram now. So check it out on ghostera.net. You can head over to, there's this little thing at the side that says more. Click on the more and just look at all the experiments that we have. We have an abundance of things there.
yeah,
Like it's probably about under 70 or 80 now.
yeah,
So yeah, check it out if you want to scare yourself, I suppose. Yeah.
exactly.
Or
Dive in a
be
little
more
bit
intrigued about it.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So
That's
that's it.
great.
So at the moment, like um yeah, so we can check that out for the ghost stuff. For the project thing, it's Pump Up the Jam Ireland. So at the moment I'm not watching any TV shows, I'm not even reading any books. That's the only thing I'm focusing on at the moment. I get up at 5 a.m. and just
Yeah,
do this and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
Well,
yeah.
when this comes out, I have no doubt that that's going to be like even more of a passionate area for you. I really do think that. And we'll make sure to tag
Yeah.
all of those in our show notes. So all the listeners can go to our show notes, or they
Yeah.
can go to our YouTube or our Instagram as well. We'll make sure to tag, the
Yeah,
appropriate
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
there.
For
Um,
YouTube at the moment, that's it. Yeah.
for sure.
It's
We'll
just
make sure that
combining everything I love to do and now sharing it to others. That's it.
exactly.
And
That's
showing that
it.
there is life and fun to be had in life. Yeah.
In
And
life,
with activities
exactly.
and connecting and to connect, because there's so much groups and going on in Dublin or even Ireland, and just to connect in a bit more because there's so much out there for anybody. If
Yeah, for
you feel
everyone.
for other people, yeah, for everybody. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's so good. Well, I
Whatever
really
you want
do.
to
I
do.
wish you
Yeah.
all the best. I know Brittany does too, even though it sounds like a little man is. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry, Brittany. It's okay. You look beautiful today, by the way, Brittany.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we really appreciate you like taking the time and spending the hour with us to really like get to know you and see another side
Yeah.
of this. Right. Again, I'm
Yeah.
from a whole new perspective, and we've made a new friend. I know we both appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on, and hopefully time will tell, and maybe in a few months time we might have you back if you're up to it, because I
Exactly.
feel like we
Yeah.
could totally
I
dive into
popped
some
down
other
to
topics.
Killarney in a couple of months as well. So there's another thing. So like I need to
Hey,
probably
there you
pop
go.
down to people soon enough. So there you
A
go.
live on location. Yeah. That'd
Great. Yeah.
be
Talk to
so
people
good.
on the street and ask them their questions are like, do you live in
You know
Coastline?
what? Exactly. Anything is possible. And then
Yeah,
to our
yeah.
listeners, thank you so much again for checking us out. We've got episodes released every Saturday on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Yep. And so you can find us there at Basic Banter for Witches, or you can email us basicbanterforwitches@gmail.com. So Brittany, who is tied up right now with her little buddy Harrison, says, see you later. See you later, as well as, well, Sinead, thank you again for joining us.
Yes. Yeah,
And
thanks for having me on. It's been
of
a
course,
fun.
anytime. Okay, guys, have a great weekend or whatever, wherever and however you listen to this. We'll see you next time. Bye.